What's up YouTube, 72Pins1, bringing you a history of my truck trailer before the rebuild, because there's actually quite a bit done to it before then. So anyways, I'm just going to show you pictures of various stuff, and believe it or not, it wasn't always had the gray bed. It was as bad as people would think it would. As you can tell, there's a lot of dents and smash marks from the previous owners. At this point I had changed the tires because it had a tube on one side and that wasn't good, and the treads were mismatched on the tires, and it was pretty rusty on the passenger side, especially from where it got in a couple big dents and a couple holes in it. And there's a square where there's a toolbox option that had gotten broken a long time ago. That's sad because the toolbox option was rare on the old trucks for the Chevys. I had put new lights on it, but at this point, because it didn't have any set of working lights when I got it, and it's pretty rusted on the tailgate. That's covered up by the trim strips, and the Ford rules is my little touch to it. The front panel had a crack in it, but anyways, next thing is I haul away scrap metal, which they pay for junkyards by the ton, which is 2,000 pounds. So I got a hot water heater and a door, screen door, and a tailgate, and some doors off some various vehicles I've owned throughout the years. And this is when I actually first got it. I had the mismatched treads and it still had the side lights in it, which I took out later for another scrap load. And anyways, here's an old orange truck that I found behind a car dealership, and somebody just dumped it there, just the engine, the transmission, and the front suspension off it, and it went off. And when I was trying to cut it up to get it out of there, it ended up putting my finger in a splint for like 3 months. But eventually I got done, got it loaded up, and some help from a friend got it hauled off to the junkyard, and probably the heaviest load I've ever put in the trailer as long as I've owned it. Here's an old gray van frame and suspension and engine and transmission I used to own. I bought the van for the body, drove it for a little while, and then the engine had an oil leak, which wasn't worth fixing. So I got some help from a couple friends and cut it up and loaded it up here and took it down to the junkyard for some scrap weight there. Anyways, next set of pictures is the crack in the front panel here, front apron I guess the technical term, is why I started the whole rebuild, because I found another one down at the junkyard. So I figured, well, cut out and replace it, because you can tell it bows out in the front when you put stuff in there, and that's not a good thing, and it peeled away from a hit on top of the passenger side bedside. So anyways, I started on that, and I started looking for a different bed since the rest was all beat up. And I found one in a salvage yard in Fort Dodge, which is a long way from where I live, but you can tell it's on the driver's side, it's a lot better looking than mine, especially at the top of my driver's side bed rail smashed, and the huge dent on the bottom of it where it's pretty well trashed. Anyways, and here's the passenger side, which is a lot better except for the dent in that, which would have been a pain to pull out, but still relatively in better shape than that one overall. But it didn't have the toolbox option, which isn't that surprising. They were rare on the Chevy. So here's the pictures of trying to get the old bed off it. You have to take the mounting bolts on the bed and grind them off with a grinder pretty much, because after this much rust and after 40 plus years in Nebraska, you're not just going to unbolt them. So I had to cut a big hole and flip the bed off and then cut the beam off. So anyways, that bed in Fort Dodge didn't work out, so my neighbor had another one, which he hadn't used in a while. So it's pretty much a better looking overall bed, but it had some issues with some busted lug nuts that hold the wheels on, and it didn't have a back bumper because it had been used as a dumper trailer, and my friend had used it to the point where it had to have a steel floor put over the original because it was just rusted and beat up and not usable. This is a picture of the original frame where I cut it up and scrapped it. I saved the coupler, which is what hooks onto your ball hitch for the vehicle that you're hauling it with, and then I saved a couple suspension parts. There's pictures of how you mount a bed yourself with some jacks, some stumps, and some 2x4s and a couple various pieces of metal you have. So went on pretty easily. Just took a decent amount of time to get done, and I had to take out the steel floor temporarily because there's a mounting bolt stuck underneath it, which was a pain, but I cut off the couple front mounting brackets which were welded to it, but I eventually got it mounted up. So this is the first load that I took down with the friend, which is the frame and whatever. I cut off the original bed, and I had to put magnetic lights on it because I hadn't gotten around to rewiring the lights at this point. So anyways, another scrap load from my neighbor, and got the original wheel wells, and the rebuild already started by this point because I had the I put the bed liner and the wheel wells in it, the new ones. Anyways, just another scrap load from my neighbor here, and from various people just give me the junk because they don't have enough or want to deal with getting rid of it down around here. So anyways, I haven't been putting anything up on the truck trailer since about midsummer. Well, it's because of the whole lawn boating thing, and it's been sitting for a while, and I've had some lighting issues with it. The trailer light's working. I do have some more parts that I plan to put on in the future, but right now I'm trying to collect all the parts to be able to rebuild it all at once. So that'll be coming up in the spring, because I'm going to get the parts by then, I'm thinking. And anyways, it's just that the weather's crappy and there's snow on the ground and it's cold in winter, but I'll eventually get it done. So thanks for watching. That's it. Bye.